Young people should be upset and they should be engaged because it's their futures on the line.
Why is it important for young people to understand?
Because your ass gonna get locked up. That's why. You're gonna be behind bars, man. You can be doing something about it right now.
Too many innocent people are locked up for no reason. My mom did 7.5 years. My pops did 14 years. My grandpa went to prison. My stepdad. It's just like a whole lineage that needs to stop. You know what I'm saying? I'm like the first generation of men out of my family that didn't go to prison. You know, knock on wood or whatever.
I dodged the bullet. I just happened to live in a neighborhood where there wasn't a whole lot of police activity. I'm a nerd. I didn't get in any trouble. But I saw a lot of good people who could have gone to college go to prison. I saw a lot of good people who could have jobs right now being held back.
I've seen firsthand what incarceration can do. My father, he spent 7 years of his life in the penitentiary and just was not the same man when he got out. You know what I mean? It changed the way he acted, the way he looked at people, the way he looked at things.
The system has been set up in place already in the hoods and for people of color. You know, when people don't have these outlets, they don't have something to take them out of that world that they're used to seeing and bringing them into another world, it's like, it's harsh for people.
I visited a federal prison in Oakland with Congresswoman Barbara Lee recently and found out that they charge them 50 cents per email. And some of them are paid as low as $5 a month for the jobs they're working. We talk all the time about it being a form of modern day slavery. That's why they're barely getting enough money to buy the snacks they need or to pay for their phone calls or to pay for the emails they need to send. All the while doing much of the work for a lot of the big businesses in this country for free who are profiting off that labor. That's a system that's broken that has to be repaired.
I think that there's a dehumanizing factor when it comes to how people of color are perceived doing the exact same things that white people do. I think that we can definitely enact policies that would standardize some of those things because so much of it is cultural.
People who are black and brown, we are excessively prosecuted and we are disproportionately sentenced. I served 13.5 years in federal prison. When I was incarcerated, I saw there was a plurality of potential that was diminished as a result of an excessive prison sentence. I wanted to get involved. I wanted to have my voice spoken. And I also wanted to be able to carry the muted voices of those people who were sentenced to indefinite terms of imprisonment. I wanted to carry them into spaces such as in the US Congress, such as in the US Senate, and let them know that you messed up. America, you messed up. America, not only did you mess up, but you have the opportunity to make it right.
It was, the scariest feeling I've ever felt in my life, watching my husband, the breadwinner in our home, walk off to prison. He called me in January 2018 and he said, look, I just got a call from Jared Kushner. He wants us to come to the White House. But I've been a Democrat my whole life. My first thought was, no, there's no way we're going to the White House. But then Van said something that changed my mind. He said, Jessica, Jared told me he wants to work on prison reform and bringing people home. And at that point, we didn't have a choice.
Working together with my administration over the last 2 years, these members have reached a bipartisan agreement. Did I hear the word bipartisan? There you go. Did I hear that word?
When you see Black Lives Matter and Republican governors coming to the same conclusion about prisons, you have to act. You've got to move. And that's what happened. We said we want a 50% reduction, cut that thing in half.
We've continued to work with Jared Kushner for the last 10 months on a bill that's moving through Congress called the First Step Act. Now it is exactly that, it's the first step. It's a bill that addresses some of the horrific prison conditions that women are going through in the federal prisons. It's a bill that gets people job ready when they're coming home by providing them with job training and programming that they desperately need.
And now it's on the Senate side. Surprisingly, our executive branch has, a history of being very divisive, but this is the one issue by which, the White House is a champion of.
And we don't care what color you are, we don't care what color you voted. If you have a red beating heart, you need to do something. If you got a gray matter in your head connected to a brain stem, you can be smart enough to know this is a stupid way to waste money.
In the United States of America, we spend approximately $80 billion annually on criminal justice, not criminal justice reform. This is locking people up. If we're going to incarcerate people, at the very least, let it be about incarceration and rehabilitation. Let's give people, opportunities. Let's unlock educational opportunities for them so that when they are released, they can be, they can maximize their potential, that they can live up to the fullest potential that they have the God-given, capacity in order to do.